everybody. My name is Kevin, and I'm with Gravity Oasis. Currently on a drive right now, heading to a bar or to a calisthenics park near my house. Today is my pushing day, aiming to get some shoulder work done. Mainly, I'm trying to get my handstand push-up reps up. I was thinking about this earlier, and I want to get a better warm-up routine done that I could do like every single day. The warm-up routine that I have right now is like, I'm not going to go over the exercises and the general movement stuff that I do, but if you are curious, the majority of it has to do with warming up my shoulders, my wrist. My scapula has been a big one for me lately, so I've been doing a lot more scapula push-ups, but I consider that more towards of an active warm-up. Something I do after my general movement practice, which is usually just a little bit of yoga. So let's talk warm-up sets. I wasn't really the type to be hitting warm-up sets all that often. I'm a purely calisthenics athlete. I don't really train with weights. I have a couple pairs of dumbbells at home that I used to use every once in a while, but it's been a couple years since then, and for the most part, everything I do is either calisthenics or yoga, but either way, whatever I'm doing, I like sticking to body weight when possible. The only exception I really have is if I have a weight vest or even ankle weights. Weighted calisthenics is a game changer too. I'm not too big on it yet, but I dabble here and there occasionally. Try to hit my weighted pulls once a week. And speaking of pulls, this is what I was trying to get at with my warm-up sets. So I started incorporating explosive pull-ups into my warm-up. It's not anything too crazy. It's just 2 sets of 4 explosive pull-ups where I'm aiming to pull closer to my waist. Not chest to bar, but waist. I've been seeing a lot of improvements in my muscle ups by just incorporating 2 sets of 4, and that's it. My muscle ups have been getting so much easier. The transition is hardly even something I think about anymore. It feels like I'm just pulling myself up and over the bar. I saw this, what's his name on Instagram? Leo Wang, Seppuki. I forgot what his handle is, but he was doing his muscle ups, but it's like 90% pull, 10% push for him. That's his caption, and I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna lie, that's impressive. He's literally floating up and over the bar. I don't train muscle ups like that too heavy, but I try to do them once a week. Been pretty consistent actually of getting them once a week. That's the goal right there. Increase my pulling strength. So if I could get my pulling strength up even higher and train it maybe a little more often than I already am. Like today's gonna be my handstand push-up day, but there's no reason why I can't do a front lever hold or some tuck rows here and there. Yesterday was my pull day, and I added 4 sets of 2 handstand push-ups at the end of my workout. It wasn't anything too crazy. I think the intensity wasn't killing me. It was pretty mellow. The main thing I was working on was purely technical. So I really enjoyed it. It didn't take up too much time or too much energy since I was working the muscles that I haven't been using at all in that workout. And it felt nice. It felt a little more balanced at the end. I tried doing some front lever holds once I got home. So I got a set of base bars, but I couldn't do it. I had no energy in me. So it got me thinking. I was like, damn, if I'm gonna do some technical based handstand pushing workout on my pull days, then I might as well do the same thing on my push days. So for today, at the end of my workout or sometime throughout the workout, I'm going to be having a couple of front lever exercises, or maybe not a couple. I'm going to stick to 1 exercise and do a couple sets of that exercise. Something purely technical. I don't really know what I want it to be just yet. I'm leaning towards tuck rows. I'm a big fan of rows. Damn. Yeah, no parking up in front. I'm off the park pretty far back. Screw it. Starting off the session strong, I'm going straight into these scapula pulls. Just really mainly focusing on retracting, depressing, elevating the shoulders, getting my body ready to explode. Getting ready, and bam. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with how explosive my high pull-ups have been getting. The goal is to eventually get it to waist to bar, but right now I'm currently sitting at about belly button to bar. Switching it over, still doing my warm-up sets. I like alternating between those explosive pull-ups for either 3 to 4 reps and then going straight into some handstand holds. Love going into the straddle. Usually go into a diamond, yep, and then a tuck. I like playing with all sorts of shapes, but these are the ones that I usually alternate. Helps me get into the rhythm of my handstands. This is the first time I tried depressing and elevating my shoulders in the middle of a handstand, at least a freestanding one, and it felt kind of good. And back at it again with the explosive pull-ups. This is actually the first time I've recorded my high pull-ups, so it's really nice seeing how it's looking. Gotta include some of the handstand feels, you know, it's not always immediately straight into a handstand for me. Sometimes it's on the second try. Nobody's perfect. It happens. So moving on, I have my first handstand push-up warm-up set. I like approaching these with either 1 to 2 reps. Less is more on this. I'm mainly just trying to get the blood pumping in my muscles, and it gives me a good idea of how the practice is going to be handled later on. So hitting all these holds. Wasn't feeling very sturdy here, I'm not gonna lie. I was feeling a little shaky, a little wobbly, but you know, these days are gonna happen. What's more important is how you approach it. So gotta keep the spirits high, gotta keep pushing. I did fall out of it. I wanted to go for at least 3 to 4. The real goal was 4 here, I'm not gonna lie. Like 4 reps would have been amazing. Here I am contemplating real quick before getting into another set. And yeah, you know, my body was not having it. Bam. Hit the 7, back up to the handstand. Hold for a second before moving on to the push. As I watch the footage, you know, it becomes pretty apparent that my pushing motion has been not very consistent. At this point, I am already pretty tired. Like, my shoulders were just not feeling it today. But I wanted to keep pushing. But it becomes pretty obvious that my pushing is staggered, where it's like left shoulder, then right shoulder, then left, then right, before I make my way up to the top. Getting a different angle for you guys. This is where you could really see what I mean about my legs just kind of making me fall down. I need to keep a better alignment. Just need to point those toes, engage my quads. That's probably the biggest thing right here. I have not been warming up my quads. Fighting for that rep right there. Bam. Figured, you know what? Let me do a superset real quick. Maybe it's the hyper lets that are bugging me and not the mini ones. So moment of truth. I'm getting a moment here, recollecting my breath, building my focus. All right, let's get it. Yeah, you know what happens? First kick up. Bam, second kick up. There we go. The lean on this one was actually perfect. The actual pushing motion could be a little better. You know, I had a slight banana arch right there. But in terms of just the eccentric, I like that one a lot. I was aiming for 2 reps. Only had 1 in me though. And from this point, I was like, you know what? Let me do some pulling, give my shoulders a little break, and then come back to it later. So decided to do some front lever holds. It's kind of hard to tell from the video, but that wall I have near my head is way closer than it looks. So I was looking back to make sure I wasn't going to bang my head. Got a little bit of a better angle. You can see like my head's like right above the wall. Not saying that's like, you know, the cause of my shitty front lever form, but it was a factor. I occasionally have the half lay in me. Today wasn't the day. I had the advanced tuck. I ended up doing about 3 sets of 20 seconds with a 2-minute rest. I want to start experimenting more with my front lever, so I'm actually thinking of incorporating some glute exercises on my pull days to see if that has any effect on my front lever at all, because my glutes are the one thing that I struggle to activate too. And who knows, maybe it'll translate over to my handstands. I figured, you know what, let me try some freestanding handstand push-ups. Maybe it'll feel a little bit better. It's the same thing. My balance was just not it today. Strength-wise, I felt okay, but balance, I was just struggling. You know, there's a point where if you keep struggling the way I am right here, you got to know when to call it quits. I was refusing to call it quits. I had my eyes set out on getting some quality reps, but I could not do it. It gets really frustrating, you know. It takes a big mental toll. More mental than physical. Being able to do 4 reps of handstand push-ups a few days prior to going to this, it could be hard. So I wanted to keep going to see if maybe I could get some more solid reps in. At this point, I was like, you know what? Let me bust out some 90-degree holds. And yeah, from the rest of the practice from here on out, I focused mainly on the 90-degree holds from a handstand eccentric. Same thing, I'm not too happy here, but had to make sure I got everything down in my notebook. It's important to be able to check, to cross-reference how you've been doing in prior sessions, so you have something to compare with today's session. Bam, handstand press. I do have a little hop for the press to give me a little bit of a boost. I'm not the most flexible guy out there. I'm building it, but I still want to get that press in. Followed by a 90-degree hold. This one's actually not too bad. Into the straddle and drop. Back to the contemplation, realizing that this workout isn't going the way I had hoped it would be. But you know what? These things happen. I got to make sure that I stay pushing. Got to make sure that I stay consistent. When moments like these come up in your calisthenics journey, maybe it's in the middle of your front lever practice and you've been training it for like 2 months. That's what happened to me. I got so discouraged. I took like a 2-month break from calisthenics because of it. I felt like I wasn't making any progress and I just kind of gave up. That was about a year ago. Since then, I've been going hard, staying consistent, doing pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Like in that year, I've learned handstands. I've learned handstand push-ups. I've cleaned up my muscle-ups, building better body awareness. And, you know, it's important to look back, see how far you've come. Keep your eyes on the prize. I was trying to go for a little planche right there. Boom, that was my favorite 90-degree hold. That one felt so solid. And there was some protraction, which even then, that wasn't the cleanest. So the interesting thing about this set, I was going to do a couple muscle-ups, supersetted with straight bar dips. But my hands were on fire. All right, so I got through, I'd say about half of my workout. Wasn't feeling as strong as I was hoping I would be. I've been feeling very fatigued lately, just very tired. So I really don't want to take a deload week, but starting tomorrow, deload week is gonna start. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my workout at home though. I was doing a couple handstand push-ups. Ended up doing some front lever holds too, because I really do want to incorporate more of those in my practice just daily. And I tried doing some muscle ups at the very end. My hands are just not cooperating with me right now. So I really don't want to rip my skin. I decided, you know what? Take the workout back to the house. I got a fan in there. It is very hot over here. Finish up with, I'm thinking weighted push-ups and some regular dips, non-weighted, nothing too crazy. And starting tomorrow, my deload week, the way I'm gonna do it this time around is I'm gonna cut my volume in half. So I'll keep the same exercises and maybe I'll even experiment with some other ones, but I'm just gonna cut it down in half while keeping the same intensity. The last time I did a deload week, I ended up cutting some of the, not only the volume, but some of the intensity as well. So when I was hitting 10 to 12 dragon flags before deload week, post deload week, I was struggling to do like 8. Yeah, I think I had to build up. I started at 6 and I'm barely making my way up now to like 8 to 10. So, you know, there's other factors that play into it as well. I just think for me personally, a decrease in volume would benefit me more than decreasing intensity. So we're gonna play it by ear. Tomorrow's gonna be Tuesday, so deload week is gonna be starting, on a Tuesday. It usually starts on Monday for me, and we'll see how that goes. But cool. Besides that, overall, how I was feeling throughout the workout, some personal notes, like personal observations. My legs are just feeling so heavy, which makes no sense because I'm not really doing, I train legs purely for mobility purposes and not so much for building size or strength. I'd say the only thing I got blessed with genes wise are my legs. They're just naturally pretty beefy, my calves too. So I don't really have to do too much. But on the flip side of it, if I'm not doing all these crazy sets and feeling like I have heavy legs, it's getting a little annoying that my legs are just dropping me back down from the handstand. Definitely gonna have to do some workarounds. I did notice, throughout the video that my handstands were getting straighter and straighter, but I don't want my 4 sets of handstand push-ups to be a warm-up set, only for my handstands to look better afterwards. I need them to look good right off the bat, so I can get the most quality handstand pushing reps. Lesson learned, upcoming deload week, since I'm going to be decreasing the volume, it's going to give me more time to focus on preparation exercises and warming up better, really getting a better idea of what I need in a warm-up. The warm-up sets I'm loving. I'm loving them a lot. Am I doing enough before the warm-up sets in terms of shoulder preparation and activating my body as needed? I don't know. I'm gonna start filming my warm-ups as well. The reason I haven't really been filming it is because I felt like it'd just be kind of some dry time. But yeah, I'm gonna start incorporating it. I actually just got a mobility stick not too long ago. Got on Amazon. So with the mobility stick, it's one of those detachable ones. So it's like 2 sticks and then you just twist them in and it becomes one. There's 3 pieces in total that adds up to like 6 feet, which is kind of insane. I'm only 5'4". I'm not the tallest guy out there. So that stick's pretty good for me. One of the benefits though, in terms of like my height, I could hit the base blocks, like the bars, no problem with L-sit pulling. That's kind of it. I think that's the only advantage I got. Like L-sit pull-ups are easier. I'm sure there's some skills out there that are easier because of my height too. Like I can't imagine, being 6 feet and trying to do handstands. If my legs are struggling, bothering me this much and I'm struggling to hold it, how am I gonna do it when my legs are like twice as long? But all right, making it back home right now. Gonna park real quick. All right, so we back inside. I decided to start off with some dips. I recently made the width a little bit longer than I had it before, and let me tell you, my shoulders are thanking me for this. The movement's feeling so much better at this point. I know I'm going a little bit deeper than the 90 degree. I personally don't feel any discomfort here. This is the first set, but in the second set, I was more conscious about sticking closer to that 90 degree angle. Not going as deep on this one. Still feeling really good. I gotta invest in a mirror or something so I can see how deep I'm going. But for the most part, I'm feeling good here, not really having to worry about balancing a handstand, just going pure strength, going pure monkey mode. Set number 3. Honestly, at this point, I'm just letting off steam from today's workout. I decided if I'm gonna take that deload week, I might as well push myself as hard as I can.
or maybe not as hard as I can. Push myself harder than last time. Shout out Coach Greg. And yeah, go into the deload week feeling good. I decided, you know what, it's my last set. Let me hit it weighted real quick. I haven't tried it weighted with this new length, or this new width, I mean. I haven't tried it weighted with this dip bar in a while, so it's definitely interested to see how I was going to do. Didn't feel as bad as I thought it was going to. But I think for now I'm going to stick to non-weighted until I can hit 4 sets of 20 pretty consistently. Can't forget these push-ups. Fun fact, I've been neglecting the hell out of my push-ups. I've been sticking to so much shoulder strengthening that I haven't really been doing as much chest. Getting it weighted as well. Getting a few more sets with the weighted vest. I got the Chris Harrier weight vest. It's about 35 pounds, I believe. I gotta double check that one. My goal here was to stay consistent with my rep range, so I've been hitting 11 in the past sets, so I gotta make sure I hit 11 here. If I had the choice between either hitting dips or hitting push-ups, I'd probably pick push-ups. Just can't go wrong with push-ups. Sure, it's a basic movement, but if done right, you get some killer gains. Finishing up right here. I am getting pretty tired. Form is starting to break a little bit. I think my straight body line could be a little better. And then my wrists were actually starting to hurt too, so I was like, you know what? Let me flip these parallettes real quick and try it horse on them. I don't usually train it like this with the pronated grip, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. My wrists are feeling really good. Busted out the mobility stick. My shoulders are feeling a little tight. Overall, my body's feeling pretty stiff, so I was like, let me just wake up real quick. While I was doing all these movements, I wanted to isolate the shoulder as much as I could. So I kept my lower back, my pelvis, and even my thoracic more or less sturdy and stable, with the only thing moving was my scapula and upper back. Doing some scapula pulls. I gotta say, by the end of this, I was feeling way better. I just got this stick on Amazon like 2 days ago. It came in yesterday. This is the first time I'm really doing it for a warm-up. I got it because I was gonna train my one-handed handstand, or my one-arm handstands, and I figured it'd be helpful to just get some side bends going first thing in the practice. These side bends felt good. I'm gonna have to start incorporating this more often. I got this stick in particular because you could take out, you can see like this little divot in between. You could attach 2 sticks together or even 3 sticks to make it hella long. Yeah. Final set of push-ups. Since I did weighted on the last set of dips, I decided to do non-weighted for the last set of push-ups and just go in hard. Focus more on form. Slow, eccentric, explosive, boom, concentric. I was trying to be very conscious of locking out my elbows while at the same time protracting my scapula. I kept the lockout pretty well, but I think I could do a lot better with my protraction. It's kind of hard for me to tell with my shirt on. It's one of the big reasons I like being shirtless, is because I could have a better idea of what my body is doing. Decided to superset it without any elevation in the feet, but I was tired. I got like 3 reps in there. I like the pronated grip so much that I decided to do some back-to-wall handstand push-ups with the pronated grip. I've done it before, but never really too consistent. I was just liking a lot how it was feeling on my wrists and my shoulders. And this is a skill that I'll have to start practicing in freestanding. Who knows, maybe I'll like doing handstand push-ups in that grip more than neutral. I was aiming for about 4 reps here. Nothing too crazy. When it comes after the deload week and I'm planning out my sessions, I'm going to be incorporating less technical work for handstand push-ups and more strength-based. I'm going to see how that affects me. I guess I don't even have to wait until after the deload week. I could do experimental programming this week too. I'm planning on doing 2 sets with pretty high reps of all my exercises that I've been doing already. Not gonna decrease the intensity unless my body really feels like it needs it. And final set right here. I'm tired. I got my sister talking to me too in the back. Finishing up nice and strong. I'm feeling a lot more accomplished here than I did outside.